This is the backyard of my childhood home, an environment I was really lucky to grow up in. And this is my garden. It's a space that's been with me my whole life, and to be honest, seeing it in such a poor state makes me unhappy. It deserves the love it used to receive, which is why I wanted to take on such a big project like this. And I hope you enjoy watching the process.
So yeah, welcome to my garden. I don't even know how I'm supposed to film here because I'm already covered in stuff. I don't even know where to begin. I really don't know how to start. I guess you just start, to be honest. There's no possible way I could word this or explain it. There's literally mosquitoes flying around my camera. There's thorns, there's leaves, there's tomatoes, there's worms, there's about as much nature as you can get right here. I'm just gonna start plowing through this because what's the worst that can happen, right? We're just gonna start plowing through.
I changed into one of my big t-shirts, went into our rundown garage, and grabbed tools that I thought were necessary. Since I no longer live with my dad anymore, I had to ask him questions in advance on how to use these tools.
In a bit, we're gonna grab our good old extension cables and this electric weed whacker. We also have a gas powered one, but this one is horrible for your back because you have to crank it like that over and over and over again. We're actually gonna take a slight intermission and pick some of these tomatoes because I keep getting scared I'm gonna step on them and then that's just more mess to clean up if I step on them. And look at those are good tomatoes. So we're gonna eat some. I got a bowl and we're gonna pick them. I think that's about the rest of the wild tomatoes that we're gonna get. Yeah, I'm gonna bring those in the house. And then we have tomatoes that I didn't even grow, but they somehow came out of this mess. There's beauty in the chaos.
Weed whacking was always the part I struggled most with.
Oh my god. Mosquito bites. Pretty fire. The one down here on my elbow too. even through the gloves, you can still feel those thorns.
After prep, I set up my camera for a time lapse and just started working. I noticed I was losing track of time and falling back into that same headspace I used to be in, where I felt like I could be working outside for hours despite the strain. So that's what my day started to look like. With daylight savings slowly approaching, I was losing more and more daylight to work. So whenever I had the opportunity to clear, I would be outside for as long as possible. When I couldn't be in my garden, I was doing research on how to develop my garden. My primary focus was vermiculture or worm composting, as I've done it in the past before. Learning the biology behind it was my favorite part, knowing how to create the best compost by utilizing carbon and nitrogen balances. I also spent a lot of time researching compost and soil mixtures for raised beds, as that is my main goal to prep this garden. Since it's still winter, I never had the intention of planting, but rather churning and refreshing the old, currently unusable soil. And then of course, I looked ahead at pricing for lighting setups and other things to make the backyard space more welcoming. I learned if I wanted outdoor string lights that plug in, I would need a splitter because the back part of our house has no electricity. I also learned how expensive it is to decorate an outside area. And lastly, the most important thing I learned was from my experience itself. I learned that it is impossible for me to do it all alone, no matter how much I want to. Throughout the journey, I ended up relying heavily on my neighbors for resources and also on my dad for labor assistance and his strength. And then, before I knew it, the 9 weeks were up.